Yeah. So the Live Labs platform, essentially what it is you can try and experiment with Oracle's technology for free. We have this like giant catalog of hundreds, if not thousands, of workshops and a very easy way to get your hands on these technologies if you don't want to say use your main environment or you don't have like an environment to work with is Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, which is our cloud platform. We have always free accounts where if you sign up for it, you get, I believe it's like $300 in credits for the first 30 days to experiment with all the features. But even after you run out of those credits, you still have always free features that you can use forever, which includes a Oracle Autonomous Database. So what my workshop is I've been working on, it's called Take Control of Your Database with Automated Schema Changes. This is all around our Liquibase technology for SQLcL. And what it does is when you're working with your database, like you have all of your data, but outside of the data, like you have your tables, and along with tables, you have like constraints, procedures. There are other different type of, let's just say for right now, database things. We call like the things in your database outside of your data itself, database objects. So what the SQLcL Liquibase lets you do is basically automate the deployment of all of your database objects. So you can do it just to automate deploying like specific objects. Let's say if you have like a table you want to do, or you can do entire database schemas, which is the collection of all the assets underneath your database user. So who this is helpful for and what it can help do is if you're on a development team and say you have your DBA, your database administrator, build your database schema with like all the tables and other database objects that you want, rather than having to manually apply that work to all of your developers' individual databases. With SQLcL Liquibase, with just like running a command or two, you can automatically have that database schema applied to all of these different database users and even other Oracle databases entirely. So there's like a couple different groups that this could be helpful for. The first one is DBAs. With this, you can automate a large chunk of your work, which will free up a lot of like energy and time for you and make your life easier. For developers, the faster that you get your databases configured, the quicker you could just get to work on your coding and not have to worry about that. And even outside of it, if even if you're just like a business leader who are looking for ways that you can just, I don't know, impress your boss, improve efficiency and all that, this is simple enough where you don't have to be crazy technical to at least get an understanding of it enough to have a conversation around it where you can really like speed up your development team's work by implementing Liquibase. So the workshop that I created, it's like just a completely encompassing 101 to technology. It shows you how to use the help feature for just getting guidance and like finding out where the commands are. It teaches you how to use all of the Liquibase generate commands. Those are the commands that capture, aka save your database objects to files. It shows you how to apply the Liquibase update command, which is how you the command you run when you're applying the database objects and the files that you saved to your different database users and other databases entirely. And also there's rollback functionality. So say if you apply some of the Liquibase files, they're called change logs to your database, and you realize that you actually don't want those changes, by using the Liquibase rollback command, you can like very quickly undo it. So this technology is super good for not just applying database objects to entirely new databases, but you can even use it to say if you're doing some work that like manipulates and changes your database tables and stuff and the objects in your database, you can also use it to update those databases also and restore it to the point that was in your change logs. So there's a lot of flexibility with it. The way that you access it is we have one of our products under the database tools team is called SQLcL. It's our command line for working with the Oracle database. So like all of your SQL, PL SQL, basically your database coding language commands, you can all run that stuff from the command line in SQLcL, but we also have a bunch of other added features to make your database work even easier. One of them being this Liquibase functionality. And before I like let you ask any questions on this, one final point is what I'm calling SQLcL Liquibase, Oracle's specific version of Liquibase that is installed in SQLcL, and just so you don't have to like download yourself. If you install and download SQLcL, or if you use it in the cloud, Liquibase is automatically included. But we've built it on top of the open source Liquibase platform. So
Awesome.
Liquibase is an open source technology that you can like access and is a thing outside of Oracle. Ours is better because we added a bunch of stuff on top of it. Some of those things being we improved it so it can capture all of the objects in an Oracle database schema. And also we added commands for capturing specific individual objects where you didn't have that level of like fine-grained flexibility with the open source platform. And also you can use it to not just deploy database objects, but if you work with Apex, which is our low code application development platform, you can use this to easily, with like the same Liquibase update and like Liquibase generate commands, capture and deploy entire Apex applications and also Oracle REST APIs. So not only can you do with our specific upgraded version database objects, but also you can even do Apex applications. And for the APIs that connect your application and like the user experience to your specific like data and databases, those APIs can also be deployed with that too. And the great thing about this workshop is I built it with the always free functionality in mind.
Awesome.
So it runs on our always free accounts. All you have to do is just, and it's built into the lab, like teaching you about these steps. All you have to do is fire up your always free Oracle Autonomous Database for this workshop, and you can literally do everything in here. And it teaches you pretty much everything you need to know to have like a fundamental understanding of technology. So I'm very, very happy with it. It just went officially live yesterday. And one final thing I wanted to show on that front is anyone who has like any kind of interest in this, I highly recommend that you sign up for, I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, this is the webinar I'm doing on July 25th. What this will be is I'll put the link to both the workshop itself and the webinar in our podcast description. Really recommend you come to this webinar. I'll be chatting and walking you through hands-on live the entire workshop. I'll also have some slides just kind of showing some supplementary material surrounding the workshop too. And then we'll have like Q&A time at the end. So any SQLcL Liquibase questions you have then, like this is a great opportunity to just get your toes in the water of it and like ask me directly live. So those are two very fun things that I've been working on and finally are public.
Well, congrats, first of all, because I know this takes a lot of time. Like building a live lab is not, you know, a 1 day thing or 2 day thing or a week thing sometimes. So that is awesome that you were able to make it happen, you know.